going to do is I'm going to do some screen sharing, and I'm just going to show some background information. And then I'm going to actually use the web browser and jump into the headquarters and give you a quick tour of what's there. And from that point, then anyone that wants to can jump right in and visit the headquarters. And I think we may also have an opportunity to talk about scheduling some other small group role-playing activities if you're interested in doing that, because I think they'd be fun. So Abby's got the recording going, and let me screen share for a moment. So I'll start with the location, the information to get to the room that we're going to be looking at today. It's in the online course in Module 2 in the activities page. It's Hubs Immersive Meeting. The room name is Insight VR Headquarters. There's a link that opens it up, that page in the web browser, and it gives you a room code to join. And you can, this room is persistent. You can come and visit the headquarters anytime. And my first suggestion is that you try visiting the headquarters both in the web browser and also in your Quest. And I would suggest that you might want to try visiting it first in the web browser and then doing it in the Quest. So then I'm going to join in just a second, so I'll demonstrate that. Something that I can't easily do is demonstrate joining it with your Quest. So there is a handy, very brief 1/4 page tutorial from Mozilla about how to do this with your Quest. So when you're visiting any room in Hubs with your Quest, what you're going to do is when you come to the page, everybody has to come to this web page to get started, whether you're going to do it in the browser or in the Quest, because you have to tell Hubs how you're going to enter. So you can join the room on your PC or your phone, or you can enter on device. And if you hit enter on device, it's going to show you a code, and you're going to need that code to log in your Quest. So the first step is, memorize that 4-digit code. Then what you're going to do is you're going to go into your Quest headset, and you're going to use the Oculus browser, which is one of your applications that you'll see in your menu. And in the browser, you're just going to put in the URL hubs.link. When you put in hubs.link, it's going to pop up a little panel, and it's going to ask you to put in that 4-digit code. And when you do, it's going to automatically put you into that room. So you'll just arrive in that room on your Quest. And this link is also on the web page. Oh, I just described it. So I can add that too. One moment. Let me add that link from Mozilla to the web page in case you happen to be watching this recording later and you'd like to use it. So then, starting, what is Hubs? So Mozilla has a multi-user VR initiative that they pay for, that they sponsor, and this is free. So you go here and you can create your own room. You can join rooms that other people have made, and you can do all of this for free. And it's really a great opportunity for situations like all of us where we want to do some exploring of multi-user capability, because you can go here and you can experiment, and there's a lot of great tools. It's easy to use. One of the many reasons we're using it is because you can join this with a PC or in VR, and you can be multi-user in the same experience without a lot of differences. It's really pretty useful on the PC. Of course, it's not as immersive as it is in VR, but it's still pretty good. And before I jump in there, before I forget, something I'd like to share with you is that Another reason why we're using Hubs is because Mozilla makes the programming that allows that to happen available to developers for free. So what we have done is we have created our own hubs on our server, and we have some rooms that we log into that we use for instruction for products. Right now, these products are for our psychiatric mental health application for nurse practitioners. And there's a couple things that we're doing with it. One of them is we have a room set up for our nurse practitioner PMH students to be able to do role play. So then this is a NP's office where they're having interviews with patients, and you have role play activities that you can do there. The reason that we have this set up on our own server is, first of all, it's completely private. So it's on our server. We don't have anybody's information. We don't have to worry about anybody's information being anywhere else but with us. So it's completely locked down and protected. And we're able to add some features here that you don't normally have in Hubs because we're able to change the programming. Another big plus is that, as you'll see in a second, you can change your avatar in Hubs. We have a cast of avatars that you select from. So when you come into, for instance, the live test to have a role-playing activity, you actually put on an avatar. So you can be the nurse, you can be the patient, you can be the mom, you can be the sister, whatever the case might be. And we have all of those avatars in a library. So we may decide at some point to have some role-playing activities and try that out because it's pretty cool. So I'm looking at our Hubs page right now. I'm going to go in there and visit. So I'm going to join the room in my browser.
Wow.
So how I navigate around is I'm using my mouse and I just left click and pull in any direction to rotate the view. Also, I can push forward, which makes me look up, and I can pull back, which makes me look down. So that's how I look around. So then wherever I'm looking, that's my reference of this is forward. So then to go forward, I use my keyboard and I use the W key to go forward, or I use the up arrow to go forward, whichever is your preference. So if you're a diehard PC gamer, you're probably using the W key. So then we have some spaces. So you arrive in our headquarters and we have a new release. And we have information about this new release, and you can click on that and you can actually open that up in the web browser and you can go visit that. Then we have some information for you if you don't really know much about us. So then we have presentations for each of our products, and you can click through those when you come to visit. And if several people come at the same time, then they can all walk through this presentation together and talk about that. So if we're thinking about maybe like using this as a marketing platform, this is a pretty good way to have an immersive experience with somebody because you can join them into your hubs and then you can take them around and you can show them, not only show them these PowerPoint presentations about the products, but as you'll see in a second, we have some other things that we can look at as well. Speaking of other things, let me go into the back room. So we have one example. Here's what the ER model looks like in the hospital in many of our products. So then here's a way for you to visit and discuss what typical modeling would look like. And there's almost no limit to what you can bring in to Hubs. So if there was a reason to want to have a room and you wanted to have more extensive modeling, we can help you with that. If you wanted to create something to use in your program where you could have role-playing activities with your students. And I think that Ty, howdy Ty, can you hear me? Can you guys hear Ty speaking?
No.
Yeah,
No.
one of the limitations of the Zoom meeting. So Ty, I'm still doing an overview. What's your avatar you're wearing? Are you like an eraser?
No,
Candy
he's
corn.
candy corn for
Candy corn.
Halloween.
Candy corn for Halloween, of course. So one of the things that you can do, I'm going to click on this little more stack down here in the lower right, and I can change my name and my avatar. So right now my avatar
No,
that Ty is seeing is a model that I created using an application called readyplayer.me. And that's linked in our webpage. And you can go there and make your own avatars. So you can make one that looks like yourself. So I can go into avatars and I can select other avatars like Ty did for his candy corn. And of course, these are all not business appropriate, obviously. So there's a big difference between using the free version and using one like we have privately, where all of the avatars that you can choose from are actually characters that we want you to be able to use. So that's one of the things I can do is I can select my avatar. You can do some activities when you're here in any hub. So you can take pictures, you can upload photos, and you can attach PDFs. You can bring stuff in. You can draw, and drawing's much easier, by the way, in the Quest than it is trying to do it in the browser. So you can have a meeting in Hubs where you can all work on a three-dimensional drawing that you're doing in space around you in the Quest. This is set up so that anything that you do is not saved. So you come in, you explore all you want, you can draw anything that you want to draw, and then when you leave, it just goes away. So the next time you come back, the room is clean. You haven't changed headquarters, so you don't have to worry about being destructive when you visit. You can do whatever you like to do to the room. Across the bottom, in using the browser, there's the invite. So if you create your own room, then you can get the address and the room code for that room to share it with other people so that they can join you. So you can send it to them, and then they open it up in the web browser, just like I did here. You can activate your voice or not. You can share. So in this case, I can share a camera, or I can share my screen. I can bring models in. So in the place panel, I have a pen, a camera, images, models, avatars, and scenes. I can do an emoji so you can get my feedback that way, and I can also have a chat with you. So we can have a chat window. This chat window goes away when we leave the session. So this is a chat window that's open between myself and whoever is in the room. Welcome, Thai candy corn. And that also has the ability to put in some console codes so that you can do things like if the scene's set up to let you do it, you can fly around. So you can put in /fly and it allows you to fly around. Pretty important, useful skill for nursing, I suppose. So that's the basics in getting into the room. Use your arrow keys or WASD, W to go forward, S to strafe left, D to strafe right, S to back up. Where you look is where you're going to go, so that's the reference. So you use your mouse, just left click and hold down and orbit around, and then you can navigate around the space. So one of the things that happens when we have a first time activity is everybody arrives right here in front of the door. And then they're all like piled up on each other. And then they're trying to figure out how do I move around? So the first thing to do when you visit is to just explore moving around using your arrow keys or WASD, and then rotating your view by using your mouse. Another thing that is a little bit difficult at first is that the audio is spatial. So you hear me better when we're close to each other. And if you're a long way away, you can't hear me. And you can adjust your volume, but it has a default setting. So every time you come in, it resets to that. It's pretty much useful though if you're close enough. It's kind of realistic. You can have a conversation with somebody that's not necessarily being heard by somebody in the back room, for example. Questions so far? Alrighty. So then let me recap. The reason that we're
I'm sorry. With that
go ahead.
with the WASD, what was A for?
To
Was that
to move left. You're still looking forward, but you're moving left.
okay?
And then D moves you to the right.
Okay.
And then S moves you backwards.
Okay.
And W moves you forward.
Okay. Thank you.
Since the Paleolithic dawn of gaming, the WASD keys were the way that you input your movement in games, like back to the, first PC version. That was the method for moving around.
Yeah, I'm still using the command keys to bold and italicize and all that stuff.
So our interest, our possible uses of this multi-user is that we can use it to share information. So we have a persistent space that you can come and visit our headquarters and learn about us and the products that we have. And this could be used for lots of different kinds of marketing. And it's a great environment, very inexpensive and easy to use to have role-playing activities, especially if you need to have mixed users. So you might have a couple users that are in VR and one user that doesn't have a headset, but you want them to participate or at least lurk, at least watch the role-playing, so then they can attend in the browser. And you can see that they're there, so they're not actually lurking. You can see that they're with you. So those are the big benefits. Anybody have any questions? Is there anything I left out, Abby?
Sorry, let me get off mute. No. Thank you for walking through that, Jim, because I think that will be helpful. As last time we had everyone just come and they were all asking questions. How do I move? How do I do this? So, and I think it'd be really awesome if you guys could view it both ways, through your headset going in and through the web base, like Jim talked about, because then you can kind of see a little bit of the differences and how much more immersive it is. If you're able to do the headset version and kind of see both ways, because we may have learners needing to use both options potentially. So I think that would be really a cool feature. I did both, and yeah, it's very different. So it was just cool to see the different ways to enter.
And for many Quest users, they may have been using their Quest quite a bit, but have never used the Oculus browser for any reason. So there can be a little friction in getting people started with their Quest because they have to bring up their Oculus browser and then click in the URL field and then put in hubs.link, which you get a keyboard that pops up when you do that. So it's not difficult, but if they've never done it before, that can be a point of friction. Whereas just coming in here in the web browser is pretty easy. So then, depending upon your PC, when you visit in the web browser, it may depend on how many people are in the space that you're in the room that you're in. It may start to bog down a little bit. So if you have a newer PC with a current video card, you won't see any problem at all. But if you have a little bit older PC with an older video card, it might bog down a little bit, and you just need to be a little bit patient with that. The camera's not going to move quite as fast. You're not going to move instantly like you would on a more powerful PC, but it'll work. I mean, we've used this on some really underpowered ancient PCs, and it worked okay. Okay, so at this point, we can introduce some chaos. We can stop the recording so that we can share that after the fact. And you all are welcome to come on into the headquarters and tour around, and I will join you. Our technical artist, Ty Hegner, is already in, so he can assist, and I'll be in there. I'm going to be in the web browser. Well, I am right now. And I'll be looking for you, and I'll answer any questions that I can. And what I would suggest that you do the first time around is visit first in the web browser and go around the facility, check out some of the info, get a feel for it. And then after that, whenever you want, now or later, you can do the same thing in your Quest headset. And like I said, this is open 24/7, 365. So if it's not a good time right now for you to come on in, or you just want to come on in, later on your own to explore and experiment, you're welcome to. Please visit.
Okay, I'm going to stop the recording.